With Tesla, you can see this pattern. It just keeps repeating. Hey everybody, hope you had a great trading day. Let's get to it. So Tesla, this was one that we had in the top 10. Opened, pulls back. This is exactly what we were talking about. This is what we've been seeing with the stock. We've been seeing these shakeouts and then reversals, right? So in other words, you shake down, you cut that 15-minute orb opening range breakout trade that everyone loves doing. And then this is what you've been getting. I marked these off because this particular pattern has just been continuing for some time. Please subscribe to the channel, click all notifications because what we go over is extremely timely. Also, I post charts on here that are not on any other social media site that I currently post stuff on, and you may want to see those during the day. Now, you're getting these reversals, and then you're staying in that range, right? Breaks down, doesn't stay in the range, stays in the range, right? So more times out of not, this first 15 minutes, you're staying in the range. If you break out of the range, right, it's pretty clear which way you're going to go, right? So you can kind of see that you stayed in that range, that 15-minute range all day long. No open or close was out of that. It's kind of, well, you have one right here, but it's kind of crazy. So just watch that tomorrow. What I would take away from Tesla and what you should be taking away is this is the 9th and that was the low. This is the 11th, that was the low. And you can see where I'm going with this, right? Now, this might not be on everyone's radar tomorrow, but it's going to be on mine. I like these little dojis when they set up like this. It's not a perfect doji, but it's one in such a sense that something is going to happen if you break either to the downside or the upside. If you were negative this stock and you broke this way, you definitely want to be taking a look at shorting it. That doesn't get any cleaner. So watch that doji. Dojis are a sign of uncertainty. This is one we covered in the pre-market video today. They're public, the pre-market videos. They are not private. So they start at 8:30 in the morning and worth watching, even if you watch them later in the day. So we cover a lot of ground and we deal with the current issues. So you see this little range? This is your gap. Into the gap, pulls back, comes back, retests the gap. What's it do? Rally. So there are very few stocks are trading above their 200-day moving average that are mega, and I'm going to call it a tech company. I mean, people say it's a media company, but it's obviously technology-based and driven. So you can see where we have the ability to get to. Above the 200, here we are, opens. Now look at this. This was all day long, and I'll just pull this up. So these were entries that we had literally all day long, here, 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 here. I think I had 5 entries on this today. This is what happens in bear markets when people don't believe that they could have a bull market in it. I don't get too caught up in the following. Are we in a secular bear market or a secular bull market? Are we in a bear market in a bull market or vice versa? It's all noise. Okay, what you have to focus on is what's going on macroly, and stay to the end because I'm going to cover some of that. Focus on what's going on macroly and then try to figure out how you're going to make money with it and then see if your thesis is right? You can see if your thesis is right if it's highly correlated. Chances of this breaking through this level, right, and not getting to 332, 333 are pretty much slim and none, and slim left town, as my dad used to say. I know it's a dad joke, but there it is. Deal with it. So there we are. We got about 34 points there. I put this on your radar. Did I want it to close over? Of course, but this is what you get when you go through these kinds of markets. You get people scared. I don't want to hold this overnight. I made money. I have PPI tomorrow. I have Walmart. That game works until it doesn't. And that game hasn't worked for 3 days, right? 1, 2, 3, right? So if you were just selling just to sell and you're in the right names, that's not working. And in these kinds of environments, I'm just going to leave you this one tip before we go on to the next idea. You must move fast, not slow. So you must not wait for ultra confirmation and wait for these ultra breakouts. You need to move when this moves, meaning the same tools that you were using before, you're not going to be able to use now. And I just really want to hammer that point home. You know, a lot of people use the same set of tools throughout the years, and then they wonder why their performance is different in various markets. That's why. You can't use the same tools. The tools I used in 2020, I might use the framework, but it's completely different. And I'll give you an example of one. So here we are with Amazon. This was a really very simple trade for us. And you can see this, we're in at $96. And now the point is we can't lose money. Okay. I don't know if this was the bottom. We don't know. Unless we gap down, we can't lose money. But the whole purpose of this trade was to get up and in, and we did that. We knew where resistance was. We knew that if it flipped that level, we might want to add to it. So we know where resistance is. So if we don't want the long trade, we could take our $5 and go home. But if we waited for the breakout and the turn, and we're waiting for the, let me just throw in some things, and we're waiting for the 5 and the 10 and all this to cross, trade's already over. You can't trade the same way you traded in a runaway breakout market. Every market's different. I equate it to a house. If you have a contractor, sometimes you need an electrician, sometimes you need a plumber. Different tools for different times, different skill sets for different times, right? All right, so if we understand that we can understand some of these things we're about to get into. So here's COIN, okay? COIN can easily go back up because the short's getting crowded. I find it very interesting that there was a transfer of about $100 million from Binance to Coinbase. Happened about an hour before I filmed this. I was trying to read more into it beforehand. So right now I just have conjecture and I'm trying to dig more into the story. But Goldman Sachs is out today putting a sell on it, okay, reiterating their sell. So let's just get this clear through our heads. In the midst of all this going on, they're reiterating their sell and they lowered their target to $40. Okay, that's now. So that tells you that they looked at it and said, hey, this has the ability to drop from that close, because that's where they would do it from, another $17, right? That's not a small number. And they're setting you up here. I'm just going to point this out really quickly. See this bar right here? You'd like it up higher here to be a bearish harami. It's not really. I'll link this candlestick video at the end. I'd watch it. These patterns are everywhere lately, and we've been doing very well in the trading community with them. But once you break that level, right, it's on. I'll probably add to the short. Disclaimer, if you don't follow me on Twitter and you haven't watched these, I've been short this for some time. But I will continue to short it, and I usually protect it via calls after a while once I'm up a lot in it. So I have some hedges on right now. But I do like that trade, and this is another one you should be watching tomorrow, okay? This is really starting to break down. It's really starting to get tired. Supports are flipping to resistance. Keep those on your radar. Now, is this the end of Bitcoin? I have no idea. And you know what? Frankly, no one does. I have a hard time believing you're just going to stay here if you have liquidity problems. One of the things that the CEO of Coinbase did say over the weekend, it was on the All In podcast, and I'd listened to it. It was very interesting. But he also said it on CNBC, I believe, where he says he's been in contact with other lenders that are, or crypto brokers that are looking for money. So there might be another shoe here. And if there is, might, keyword, I have no way of knowing that. This would be the asset that people would sell. So that just makes sense. Also, volumes are going to drop precipitously on these. There's very little chance, but I did find this interesting. So here's PayPal, right? And you can see this trend right here. You can see that I don't have moving averages in right now because I really don't need them. So here's that level, right? So here's my doji at the top of this. If I can get over that tomorrow, I could be breaking this DTL. Well, this is perfect because it's coming down because there is some ties to that, but also look at this on Square, right? And look at the setup. This setup is perfect for tomorrow, right? So you flip that doji and then you go. And these stocks are down because you're dealing with the cryptocurrencies and what's going on there. Now, reminder for those that are trading tomorrow, you have PPI at 8:30. Walmart has earnings. They have been anything but our friend here. And then here they did better and then they didn't hold. So it's going to be very interesting to see. And this will greatly affect retail. In regards to the indexes, look at these levels. This is not surprising. This is what it does. We got to the 200 and we rejected. Does that mean it's going to constantly reject every time it gets to the 200? No. It means this is what it did on Monday before PPI. Bond market rallies, these names will rally as well. Let's take a look at the diamonds, the Dow. You're still above the 200. You have a little reversal, but you didn't even make a lower low. So if we just run through these, let's get rid of this. This is from that pre-market, and let's clean this all up. So here we are, right? That's not the end of the world. We didn't even make a lower low. Now we closed at the low of the day. You come in tomorrow, but that's profit taking. This is exactly what you want to see in this kind of environment. You want to see everybody scared. And it's kind of fascinating to me that we couldn't even make that lower low and we sat right on what has been a minor support level until it's confirmed, and we'll see if it holds here or not. But you can all see my line here, right? Resistance flips to what? Support, and there it is. So watch these levels very carefully. Take a look at what I said, especially about COIN. Tesla's been a really good trader for us, and so has Netflix all day today. It was pretty clean. So focus on that, see how we get through tomorrow, and we'll go from there. If you are interested in the trading community, there is a link up here in the top right corner. It is on a wait list right now. We are waitlisted. So just simply add your name to the wait list. It will set you up for the newsletter, which is free if you already don't get it. And then when a slot opens up, you will get an email. All right, everybody, have a great evening. Trade to win tomorrow.